Good morning. We're here on the Moose Fire on the Salmon Chalice National Forest. I'm Matt Call, Planning Operations with Great Basin Team 1. The Moose Fire is currently 130,093 acres and 51% contained. The Owl Fire is at 747 acres and about 50% contained. I think it's 53. So we're going to show you some footage we got yesterday of the Owl Fire and kind of show you what that looks like. We flew it with our drone. You can see a little bit of, this is the actual fire edge, the black edge. So let's push play, and the footage kind of jerks around a little bit because they're not trying to film a movie, they're really looking for smoke. Underneath this camera is an infrared camera that also looks for heat. Good understory burn here. It didn't really take the canopies, but there's not any real heat in there. The edge of the black is over there. So they're looking right at the edge of the fire. This is the helicopter that they flew in on to launch this mission. And the edge of the black will be kind of over here on the left of our screen, over in here. And they're just doing a little bit of clearing so they have a little bit less debris when they launch the helicopter. So we'll switch back to our other map. So what was missing from that photo or that video was smoke and fire. So we feel really comfortable with the Owl Fire. We're not going to send any crews up there today. We're going to keep a good eye on it, fly some more IR, but it hasn't grown at all. There's really no heat that's not interior. A couple logs inside. It's really good shape. We're feeling really comfortable with the Owl Fire. This is our infrared image. The Owl Fire is here. This is all just interference. So we had some moisture in the air when our IR aircraft flew over. So that's just going to be areas where we'll have a little bit less accuracy. So they show you that so you can kind of understand anything under that might be a little less accurate. We're going to zoom into the watershed. Take a look at what our heat's doing there. So we've got salmon on the right and the watershed is right there. So we've still got some heat there in Jesse Creek. What looks really good now is Turner Gulch. The crews put in some check line, just some small pieces of line, not really tied into anything on the ends, just a little bit of line to stop or slow the progression of this fire. Looks like it worked because we don't have much heat left in there. Over in Jesse Creek, it's some steeper terrain, and we really haven't felt comfortable putting crews in there with the snags. So with that heat there, it really hasn't grown too much, and we're probably not going to put any check line in there. We'll probably see some continued growth down into the north, but not a whole lot, and we're pretty comfortable with the way that sits. Moving on over to Bob Moore, some similar areas like that. It's not practical to put any line here, so we have an indirect line should the fire decide to move a little bit that goes across here. Where we are going direct is north of Stormy Peak, where we're actually putting in check line. You can see there's no heat along these places here. So we've got crews kind of launching off of Stormy Peak, going direct, putting in small pieces of line to make sure we take care of the heat in there. So pretty significant difference. This is just country that's not real easy to get into. And then a lot of the other heat that we're seeing is interior here. So those are interior islands. Kind of scan across here so you can see that's kind of what all the action looks like. And you can see how steep this country really is. There's one last section that we're going to look at that has some uncontained line along the power line. Napius Creek, that area, which is kind of in the center of your screen here. So there's no fire line in here, and we're not planning on putting in any fire line, but there's not much heat in there either. So we are looking at putting in a little bit of line here to try to prevent it from coming around over into Leesburg. We haven't seen much growth, and we had a lot of structure protection elements in place. On this power line here, we have a lot of heavy fuels that we're removing, and we'll kind of show you that on the other map. So let's switch over to there. On the power line, what we're doing is a few weeks ago we removed a bunch of logs there, a bunch of trees rather, that had the potential of falling on the power line if we had fire come through there. Well, now we need to remove that, and part of doing that requires some equipment that sits up in the air and has the potential of touching the power lines. So we're going to have to shut that power line down, and we're planning that out with the power company in the next few days to minimize that. Still some of the same things happening along here as far as a little bit of direct line and then some monitoring, but largely what we're doing is shifting into kind of a repair mode. So we're kind of scattering some of the heavy equipment and resources, and we're doing line repair in Pine Creek. There's a piece of line here on the north side of the river we're repairing, and we're doing a lot of work on the diamond, what we call the diamond line area. We're also allowing some residents to come back in and check their homes here, which are all in good shape, as well as doing a lot of repair up here, what we're calling Division November and on this 300 road. Still a lot of chippers and heavy equipment around, and we're still doing suppression, but largely our resources are focused on a suppression repair, which we're really happy about with all of this moisture that we've gotten. We still have a lot of structure protection elements in place, and those are going to remain for probably the next few days, but we have removed the pumps to help protect them at night from freezing temperatures. We have them available to plug them back in if needed. So when we were up here at DP53 yesterday, we were able to kind of get some clear skies, but one of the things that this moisture brought us was a pretty nice view of a nice rainbow. We're going to show that to you as we exit. So going forth here, we're pretty happy about the direction we're going, and we'll see you tomorrow.